Hello. Hey everyone, this is Michelle Nusum-Smith, owner and principal consultant at the Word Woman LLC. I hope that everyone is enjoying this absolutely beautiful and wonderfully warm day that we are having here in Maryland. I hope it's as nice where you are. I decided to just do one of these pop-up trainings that I said I would be doing this year to talk a little bit about the process of starting a nonprofit. I get routine phone calls, routine inquiries via email or messaging about starting a nonprofit. Most of us who have a passion, or maybe we're already doing some kind of a project or activity, and we want to start a nonprofit, make it formal, we're ready to jump right in. We're eager, we're excited. And there's nothing wrong with that. You should be eager, you should be excited. And in many cases, sometimes we're taking the same approach that we would in starting a for-profit business to start a nonprofit. And there are many ways that starting a nonprofit is like starting a for-profit, and there are many similarities in it. And so I wanted to share just 5 ways that starting a nonprofit is like starting a for-profit, but just to kind of share with you some reasons why you still can't take the same approach. You don't want to look at the same way. So the first one would be that you have to have long-term vision, long-term thinking, really. Success is not going to happen overnight when you're starting a nonprofit. When you're starting any business, it's not going to be overnight. So you have to set realistic expectations and understand that this is going to be a process. It's going to take some time to formalize this organization, to really be clear about what it is that you're doing, get all of the pieces in place, execute, or should I say launch the nonprofit. And then it's still going to take some time to actually move from that place where you're just a startup, your shoestring operation, so to speak, and become that thriving organization that is making a huge impact that you have the vision for. It's not that it can't happen, but again, success does not happen overnight. It's a process, and so you really want to take that approach when you're thinking about starting a nonprofit and you begin going down that path, to not expect that you're going to be able to quickly move from having an organization that you're thinking about to one that is doing all of the wonderful things that you envision and making the huge impact that you eventually will. So number 2, you have to be willing to personally invest in your vision. This is a nonprofit business, but it's your business. It's your vision, I should say. No one owns a nonprofit, but it is your vision. And you have to be willing to personally invest in making what you envision come to fruition. You have to be willing to invest your time, your talent, and your treasure. Many times we think about starting a nonprofit and we understand that, in doing so, we can get others to share the vision and be willing to invest into what we are planning to do, or to invest in what we've already begun. But we have to recognize that because it is our vision, we have to be willing to personally invest. We have to understand that it's going to take a huge investment of our time, our talent, our treasure. You're going to be, working far more hours. You're going to be, tapping into and having to continue to develop your personal skills and knowledge so that you are able to then turn around and invest those into your organization. This is going to be critically important because you're going to have the same kind of conversation when you are recruiting board members. You're going to need to engage people who not only are willing and able to see the vision, but are also willing and able to invest in the vision. And so if you're not investing, it's going to be very difficult for you to have someone else do it. Number 3, you need early adopters. And this is kind of similar to, kind of points to that initial group of people that will eventually become your founding board members. Those are going to be your early adopters. Those are the people who, when there's nothing you can point to, like, I know I have a vision. I know that I can see, and I believe that we can make a difference, and I'm still kind of working through these things in my head, that you're going to be able to have a conversation with some folks, and they say, you know what, I get it too. I see, I'm fully buying into what it is that you are envisioning, and I'm, ready to lock arms with you and to help you to develop the organization from, where it is right now, which may be just, notes that you've doodled on a piece of paper, or thoughts that you continually have throughout the day, and maybe, wakes you up in the middle of the night, that they have, agreed to and understand that this is something that needs to be done, and that they're willing to partner with you and make that thing happen. Number 4. This one is the one that's very important. All of them are important, but this one. Following laws, regulations, and best practices protects you and the organization. So we can have passion. And passion is a wonderful thing, and it drives us in most of what we do. But in running a business, whether it's a for-profit or nonprofit business, the starting and operating of a business requires us to know and understand and follow laws and regulations and best practices. Best practices are there to help us to not have to, figure it out as we go. What is the best way to do this? Someone else has already learned through some trial and error, or has proven through research, this is the best way to do it. And so you want to make sure that you are understanding what are the laws, the regulations, and best practices for starting and running a nonprofit organization. So a great example would be board membership. Many folks have what I call board members on paper. And these are folks who you've written some folks' names down, or maybe they were involved early on, but they're technically not board members. And yet you're continuing to do the work, and what happens many a times is that the person who has started, or who was the original visionary, continues down the path without any board members, without any folks to help with the governance and sort of big picture strategic thinking, because you're so passionate about what it is that you're looking to do. But the challenge with that is that's not best practices. It's violation. You're in violation, particularly, when you incorporate, you're indicating that you are starting a nonprofit corporation. Nonprofits are governed. They're led by a board of directors. When you secure 501c3 status, you're telling the IRS that you are a formal nonprofit organization, that you are led by and governed by a board of directors. You should have bylaws that specifically outline who those people are, like how many board members do you have, when and where do they meet, and all of those good things. If you have that on paper, but it isn't what is happening in your day-to-day, in your reality, then you're not following best practices, and generally speaking, you're in violation of your agreements with the state where you're incorporated, as well as with the IRS if you do have 501c3 status. And last but not least, number 5, you have to deliver high quality products and services that meet, or better yet, exceed your customers' expectations. Who are your customers in a nonprofit? In a nonprofit, you have many customers. The people that you, or beneficiaries that you serve. You have your donors. You have your volunteers and staff. You have your supporters. You have lots of customers when you have a nonprofit. It's not just those folks who you're serving, but all of the folks who are helping to make sure that the organization is delivering on its mission and that it is making an impact and making a difference. And so you have to make sure that you are doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, that you have strong management systems in place, your financial management, your operations. And we do all of those things by knowing and understanding what the laws are, what the regulations are, what the best practices are. We do those things by delivering on our promises. When we're applying for funding, when we're asking an individual donor to give a gift, we're doing so because we're telling them that we're going to deliver in some form or fashion, whatever our programs we're proposing to do, or the difference that we're claiming that we're going to make with the donations that we receive. We have to deliver on those things, and we have to be able to demonstrate that we're delivering on those things. So there's the difference between being able to say we did something and being able to have documented proof of it. And so again, the 5 ways that starting a nonprofit and starting a for-profit are similar but different. You want to make sure that you are intentionally working on and following the systems, the best practices, and having the mindset and understanding of how to have a organization that is going to make the difference that you want to make, that's going to thrive, that's going to survive, and it's going to make the difference. Again, the Word Woman LLC, I started my company in 2010 because I want to be able to make sure that organizations, that individuals who have these visions also have the skills, the knowledge, and resources that you need to turn that vision into a reality and to really make the difference in someone's life. And that's why we offer coaching, consulting, and training services. So please, if you are thinking about starting a nonprofit, maybe you already have, but you're like, I'm fully loaded when it comes to passion, knowledge, and understanding about best practices. I need some work. Please reach out to us. You can definitely schedule a free consultation call with me, and we'll talk about where you are and where you need to be, and discuss how I may be able to help you get there. Again, this is Michelle Nusum-Smith, owner and principal consultant at the Word Woman LLC. Please look us up on the web to learn more about us through our website at thewordwomanllc.com. You are also encouraged to join our Facebook group, Do-Gooders Connect, where we share lots of information and resources, and you're able to share information and ask questions as well. Until next time, as always, keep doing good. You are making a difference. And enjoy this wonderful weather.